Hello and welcome to Edu Aspirants, our YouTube channel for academics, competitive exams, entrance exams. In the series of videos on physics, let us see what we have for you in the first video on electrostatics. Electrostatics. First topic is frictional electricity. Second, properties of electric charges. Third, Coulomb's law. Fourth, Coulomb's law in vector form. Fifth, units of charge. Sixth, relative permittivity of dielectric constant. Seventh, continuous charge distribution. First, linear charge density. Second, surface charge density. Third, volume charge density. Frictional electricity. Frictional electricity is the electricity produced by rubbing two suitable bodies and transfer of electrons from one body to another. As we can see in this diagram, we have a glass and silk arrangement. When we rub the glass with the silk cloth, then electrons are transferred from glass to silk, which makes glass positive and silk negative. Similarly, we can see another case of ebonite rod and flannel. If we rub the flannel with the ebonite rod becomes negative and the flannel becomes positive. Electrons in glass are loosely bound in it than the electrons in silk. So, when glass and silk are rubbed together, the comparatively loosely bound electrons from glass get transferred to silk. As a result, glass becomes positively charged and silk becomes negatively charged. Electrons in fur are loosely bound in it than the electrons in ebonite. So, when ebonite and fur are rubbed together, the comparatively loosely bound electrons from fur get transferred to ebonite. As a result, ebonite becomes negatively charged and fur becomes positively charged. It is an important note to note that electrification of the body, whether positive or negative, is due to transfer of electrons from one body to another. That is, if the electrons are transferred from a body, then the deficiency of electrons make the body positive. If the electrons are gained by a body, then the excess of electron makes the body negative. If the two bodies from the following list are rubbed, then the body appearing early in the list is positively charged, whereas the latter is negatively charged. Fur, glass, silk, human body, cotton, wood, sealing wax, amber, resin, sulfur, rubber, ebonite. So, we can see in column 1 glass, wool, flannel, ebonite, dry hair, these are positively charged. Column 2 contains silk, amber, ebonite, rubber, plastic, polythene and comb, these are negatively charged. Properties of charges. First one, there exist only two types of charges, namely positive and negative. Second, like charges repel and unlike charges attract each other. Third, charge is a scalar quantity. Fourth, charge is additive in nature. For example, plus 2 plus 5 minus 3. If there are 3 charges in the system, so the resultant will be equal to 4 coulomb. Fifth one, charge is quantized. That is, electric charge exists in discrete packets rather than in continuous amount. It can be expressed in integral multiples fundamental electronic charge, that is E is equals to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Q can be represented as plus minus Ne, where N can be 1, 2, 3 up to so on. Sixth property is charge is conserved. That is, the algebraic sum of positive and negative charges in an isolated system remains constant. Example, when a glass rod is rubbed with silk, negative charge appears on the silk and an equal amount of positive charge appear on the glass rod. The net charge on the glass silk system remains 0 before and after rubbing. It does not change with velocity also. Recently, the existence of quark of charges 1 by 3e and 2 by 3e has been postulated. If the quarks are detected in any experiment with concrete practical evidence, then the minimum value of quantum charge will be either 1 upon 3e or 2 upon 3e, where e is charge on electron. However, the law of quantization will hold good. Coulomb's law. Force between two-point electric charges. The electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion between two-point charges is directly proportional to the product of the charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them, and acts along the line joining the two charges. Strictly speaking, Coulomb's law applies to stationary point charges. F is proportional to Q1, Q2, where Q1 and Q2 are point charges. F is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. That's why we say that Coulomb's law obeys inverse square law. So the formula becomes F is proportional to Q1 Q2 upon R square, or F is equals to K Q1 Q2 upon R square, where K is a positive constant of proportionality called electrostatic force constant or Coulomb constant. The value of K in vacuum is K is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, where epsilon naught is the permittivity of free space. In medium, K can be represented as K is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon, where epsilon is the absolute electric permittivity of the dielectric medium. The dielectric constant or relative permittivity or specific inductive capacity or dielectric coefficient is given by K is equal to epsilon R is equals to epsilon upon epsilon naught. So in vacuum, force will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square. In medium, we can write F is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon R into Q1 Q2 upon R square, where epsilon naught will be equal to 8.8542 into 10 की power minus 12 Coulomb square Newton inverse meter minus 2. And the value of 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught is equals to 8.9875 into 10 की power 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. Or we can say that 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught will be equal to 9 into 10 की power 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. Coulomb's law in vector form. In vacuum, for Q1 into Q2 greater than 0, it means both are positive or both are negative. As we can see in this diagram, both are positively charged. So the force of repulsion will act and F12 vector will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square into R21 cap. This R21 cap will represent the direction of unit vector. Similarly, F21 vector can be represented as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square into R12 cap. As we can see in this diagram, R12 cap and R21 cap both are in different direction. So in vacuum, for Q1 Q2 less than 0, we can see that F12 vector will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square into R12 cap, and F21 vector is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square into R21 cap. So by combining these two, we can clearly say that F12 vector is equals to minus of F21 vector. This is a simple application of Newton's third law of motion. Units of charge. In SI system, the unit of charge is coulomb. 1 coulomb of charge is that charge which, when placed at rest in vacuum at a distance of 1 meter from an equal and similar stationary charge, repels it and is repelled by it with a force of 9 into 10 की power 9 Newton. In CGS electrostatic system, the unit of charge is stat coulomb or ESU of charge. In CGS electrostatic system, small k is equals to 1 upon capital K, where capital K is dielectric constant. For vacuum, capital K is equals to 1, therefore F is equals to Q1 Q2 upon R square. If Q1 is equals to Q2 is equals to Q, R is equals to 1 centimeter and capital F is equals to 1 dyne, then Q is equals to plus minus 1 stat coulomb. In CGS electromagnetic system, the unit of charge is F coulomb or EMU of charge. 1 EMU of charge is equals to C ESU of charge. 1 EMU of charge is equals to 3 into 10 की power 10 ESU of charge, or 1 coulomb of charge is equals to 3 into 10 की power 9 stat coulomb. 1 F coulomb is equals to 10 coulomb. Relative permittivity or dielectric constant or specific inductive capacity or dielectric coefficient. The dielectric constant or relative permittivity or specific inductive capacity or dielectric coefficient is given by the ratio of absolute permittivity of the medium to the permittivity of free space. It is represented by capital K is equals to epsilon R is equals to epsilon upon epsilon naught. The dielectric constant or relative permittivity or specific inductive capacity or dielectric coefficient can also be defined as the ratio of the electrostatic force between two charges separated by a certain distance in vacuum to the electrostatic force between the same two charges separated by the same distance in that medium. Dielectric constant has no unit. K is equals to epsilon R is equals to Fv upon Fm, where V is vacuum and M is medium. Continuous charge distribution. Any charge which covers a space with dimensions much less then its distance away from an observation point can be considered a point charge. A system of closely spaced charges is said to form a continuous charge distribution. It is useful to consider the density of a charge distribution as we do for density of solid, liquid, gas, etc. First one is line or linear charge density represented by lambda. If the charge is distributed over a straight line or over the circumference of a circle or over the edge of a cuboid, etc., then the distribution is called linear charge distribution. Linear charge density is the charge per unit length. Its SI unit is coulomb per meter. So lambda is equals to Q upon L or lambda is equals to dQ upon dL, as we can see in this diagram. Second, surface charge density represented by sigma. If the charge is distributed over a surface area, then the distribution is called surface charge distribution. Surface charge density is the charge per unit area. Its SI unit is coulomb per meter square. We can represent sigma as Q upon S, where S is the surface area, or we can write sigma is equals to dQ by ds. Total charge on surface S will be equal to Q is equals to integration, surface integral of sigma into ds, as we can see in this diagram. Third one is volume charge density represented by rho. If the charge is distributed over a volume, then the distribution is called volume charge distribution. Volume charge density is the charge per unit volume. Its SI unit is coulomb per meter cube. Rho is equals to Q upon V, or rho is equals to dQ upon dV, as we can see in this diagram. So total charge on volume V, Q is equals to integral, the volume integral of rho into dr. This brings us to the end of the first video on electrostatics. The next video will be uploaded soon. Please subscribe, like, share, and do press the bell icons for updates. Best of luck for your forthcoming exams. Thank you.